What's up, guys, and welcome to episode 46 of the Underground Pub Show here on the Pippi K Multiverse Network. My name is Schreiber, here as always with CJ and an empty chair where Bobo normally sits.
Kenny's here.
Kenny's here too.
Kenny
so
is
the three
here.
of us.
Our producer Kenny's holding down the fort until
I made it on time.
you did. In fact, you were the only one that made it on
We
time.
were actually pretty late, and we still beat Bobo.
Yeah, we were what just got here 10 minutes ago. I think it was
basically.
basically. Bobo's still not here. He's running a little bit late today. He should be here later. I guess that's what we've been hearing.
He'll be here eventually.
There'll be a Bobo appearance.
Yeah, he'll swing by and come in and hang out for a little bit. So he's fashionably late, but it's all good. We got plenty to talk about. Lots of NFL action, college football action,
Apparently
lots of other stuff outside of college football and NFL.
Apparently, there was a huge play in a college football game that's got a certain blue and orange team feeling very confident.
Yeah, and it was literally right after I was at work, and I was like, man, Florida can't find a guy to throw a ball 15 yards down the field to save their life.
That whole game was one of the worst offensive games I think I've ever watched.
That's not a Hail Mary either. I saw some arguments online about that being a Hail Mary. Look at that, above my head. It's like a breadbasket throw right there with the touch. The guy obviously has good arms, so yeah. I don't know why they're waiting to the very end to start throwing the ball down the field.
Well, the weird thing is I saw that guy and the Tennessee quarterback, for that matter, the way they were playing that whole game, God, it was atrocious, dude. I was at work, and I mean, just about every time I looked at that game, you wanted to stop looking at it because of how bad the offense looked. I think I even made a tongue-in-cheek post about it. And then, of course, out of nowhere, homeboy from the Florida Gators turns into Aaron Rodgers, at the end of the game. It was the craziest thing I've seen in a long time in a college football game. So,
well, Tennessee had their chance to win, man. They were driving down the field there in the red zone. They had to settle for a field goal, which the Buddy missed 3 field goals in the game already. He kicked the game tying, and then they had less than a minute, and then I was surprised they did it. But props off to the Florida Gators, man, coming out strong. It was really nice to see.
They needed, considering how the team has been looking as in that Michigan game, they needed that win badly.
Oh yeah, absolutely,
big time. Now what's interesting. What do you think about Tennessee's coach? I mean, is this guy probably looking to be donezo soon?
Oh yeah, he's definitely donezo. Butch Jones.
Oh, Butch.
Yeah, Butch has been awful for years, man. And it's the same thing every time. I'm listening to the sports radio.
You are one pathetic loser.
It's true, but literally every year before the season starts, I'm like, Tennessee, this is the year. They're gonna win the SEC East. It's gonna happen. Blah 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 blah. And then they lose to whatever team Florida throws out there. I mean, it's getting old to this point.
I even remember last year in the first game of the season, they struggled pretty bad against Appalachian State, I think it was. Mm-hmm. I remember Appalachian State looked so good in that game. I mean, I think Tennessee did go on to win that game, but Appalachian State looked so good in that game that there was early, those early football talks that these college football analysts have, the 2 early talks. They had early talks about their running back being this don't sleep on him kind of running back, I guess, or whatever. And then you never heard of Appalachian State ever again after that. So yeah, I mean, I kind of figured it's been Butch's time for a while now. I mean, like I said, I'm surprised he's still here, to be honest with you, but it was very good entertainment watching him on the sidelines in that game, especially when the game was over. Because, I mean, it looked like he was seriously going to have some kind of stroke or seizure.
Yeah.
The blood vessels like shooting out of his neck and stuff. Like, he was not happy. He was not happy the way that game ended. Not one bit.
College football, like the only thing I really like is just seeing all the fans super upset at the end of the games. Man, it's just great for me. I'm not a big college guy, you know that.
Whatever, you're a huge Buckeye fan, dude.
I do like the Buckeyes, but they lost to Oklahoma, and
that happened.
Yeah,
happened.
They put the flag right down in the middle of Ohio State's field. But I mean, give me pro football all day of the week. If you disagree with me, 850-907-7686. But
yeah, let's talk.
I'm big on pro football over college football. I know I'm the only one here that agrees to that. Everybody has a college team that they actually give a shit about.
I mean, don't get me wrong.
I'm more of a pro guy.
Yeah, me too.
Right,
I mean, I love college football, but I'm definitely more of an NFL guy.
The games themselves are fun.
Even though I have a team I root for in college football, like I more just enjoy watching the actual games than I do getting behind a team, so much. Like, because I mean, there are some really wild finishes in college football. I mean, like that Gators game. I mean,
that was incredible.
Yeah,
I will say that was awesome.
It seems like you only seldomly see that in the NFL, but in college football, every year you hear about some miracle play that happens at the end, and boom, it ends up saving somebody's season. Like it may have very well done for the Gators.
The last crazy ending I saw was that Vikings-Seahawks game in the playoffs where Buddy missed Blair Walsh missed like a chip shot field goal.
Yeah, wasn't that
just right
terrible?
To the left. Now he's on the Seahawks, so there you go.
Remember when we had the scrub refs years ago and the Packers and Seahawks?
The Fail Mary.
The Fail Mary, and we had the two different calls from the coach or from the refs.
Yep, exactly.
That was a good one. You know that the leading ref in that game went on to write a book about that because of the scrutiny that he went through from that game.
Well, I'm sure. I mean,
since Bobo's in here, I thought of something that we could talk about especially since we're on NFL sports. Go ahead and finish about the guy that wrote the book.
I mean that was it. Like he wrote a book about it. I heard it was really good. I've been meaning to pick it up one day. But
so I mean, you haven't read it. You don't even know his name. So.
I haven't read it, but I mean, I remember the game changed his life enough to where he was able to write an entire book about the aftermath of the bullshit that he dealt with that book or what. I
mean, it's not like he's Steve Bartman. I'd rather read a Steve Bartman book over like someone that's life was changed dramatically over sports unfairly.
Yeah, I mean, those refs were put into a really nasty scenario. Like,
yeah, they had a freaking ref a Packers and Seahawks game
when they were probably reffing like Northern Illinois games like a year ago or something like that.
But unfortunately, I'm kind of over. I'm emotionally drained from this season already. It's week 3 about to be, and I'm like completely just focusing on fantasy football.
Seems to make sense if you're a fan of one of the elite terribles right now. The Saints being one of those.
I legit think we're the worst team in the league.
I
mean, seriously, I think the Colts would mollywop us.
I don't put the Colts in there because I mean if Andrew Luck was there, I think things would be different. The Saints are easily one of the worst teams in the league, but I mean, nothing compares to how bad the Bengals are right now. The Saints can actually score touchdowns and move the ball. It does not make them a good team by any stretch of the imagination. They're bad. I will admit it.
There's a lot of bad teams this year.
Yeah,
but I think we're the worst. I mean, literally,
the Bengals can't score. The Bengals can't score. They are. I mean, it's bad over there, man. It is. And just like the Saints, we're talking about a team that's got great receivers, that's had running backs that have been semi-reliable over the years. They usually made the playoffs. And here they are, like, they can't even score a touchdown. Like, that is terrible.
Off the record, you see what Bobo's rubbing it, and he's like, "Why are the views so low?" I'm like, "Cause you aren't here, Bobo."
Yeah, I mean,
you got your crew that follows you, man.
We're missing half of the shares that we get from Bobo right now.
You have to work, or you're running late.
Hey, whatever. Every time you're not,
he's probably gonna come in here with some Fuzaklis in a minute.
Every time you're
talking about how bad the Saints got their butts kicked and
smacking
laughing
in the microphone.
Yeah, probably wearing a Kim Jong Un
somebody else
shirt.
Lost this week too. I do believe somebody else lost this week. Didn't the Packers?
The Packers did lose. We all picked them.
Asses kicked, actually.
He'll come in here bragging about Florida, talking about Emma Watson. Star Wars is shit. Every movie besides There Will Be Blood is
shit. And then our ratings will finally
skyrocket. Wearing a shirt of some random skanky looking white chick from Wedgwood or something.
Harry Potter.
That's how it goes.
Before we go back into the NFL,
well, hold on, real quick, because we were talking about shit teams, and that kind of fed into what I was going to bring up.
Heard.
I don't know if you guys, John, I know you saw this because we actually watched this game together at the ticket
a little
this
bit.
weekend.
I was there for a little bit.
That dance was great, though. I saw it
the dancing of
afterwards.
Marshawn Lynch, man. How awesome was that? That pissed off the Jets, and you know
the Jets should be pissed at the Jets.
Who had a great quote on this, and I don't remember his exact words, so I'm paraphrasing here. But Mike Golick said, "You got a lot more to be worried about than a guy dancing on the opposite sideline." You know what I mean? I mean those because the Jets are horrible.
Oh yeah,
oh dude, absolutely. I mean, Jermaine Kearse is a legitimate fantasy player to pick up on that team.
I actually picked him up in a league
because I got nothing else, and you know, it was a close game for the first 10 minutes, and then
Raiders just ran away with it.
My whole thing is like with the NFL, with them like changing the rules, being so strict, like a few years ago, is like you're taking the fun out of the league. If like obviously I'm a Saints fan, if we can't keep a team out of the end zone, that's our fault. You know, if they get in the end zone, they should do whatever the hell they want. They want to dance.
Yeah.
You know, let them dance. If they want to do that, you know, let them do it.
My man, Lance the Dance Moore, he was always big on that.
I mean, the Jets haven't had reason to dance
Really
in a while.
penalized.
I mean, I literally, without Googling on your phone, could you legitimately name 4 Jets off the top of your head?
I mean,
like right now, like 850-907-7686. Like if you could,
just
like,
gonna Google it.
Oh, I know they're gonna Google it, but they couldn't do it like on the spot. I think I got Josh McCown, Jermaine Kearse,
Matt
Forte, and Bilal Powell. That's my 4.
Is Bryce Petty still over there?
I don't know. They got Christian Hackenberg. They got the first round pick Malik Hooker.
Yeah.
What? No, I think he's on the Colts. They got Adams from LSU.
Yeah.
But other than that, like, there's no reason to watch the Jets. They're fucking terrible. They're it's ridiculous. And then no one can't hurt anyone's feelings anymore. That's true. On WWE this week, Jinder Mahal ran a promo against Shinsuke Nakamura, and he had to apologize because he called him Mr. Miyagi. I mean, it's just the world is getting too sensitive in my views.
Because there's a bunch of racist people like you walking around.
I know, but I mean, come on.
Right?
Like, I get Jewish jokes all the time. Like, we were at Seville watching the Saints game, and that Italian guy across the bar was calling, like, Jewish stuff.
That's right. That did happen.
Yeah.
Pull that card.
I know. But
So
I'm a minority, so it's fine.
to try and steer away, to try and buy a little bit of time while we wait on Bobo. We'll let it ride for only a minute, but there was a little bit off sports for a minute. There was a little bit last week where we talked about CJ. You said you saw it and you really liked it a lot.
Yes, it's amazing.
Well, I'm now in that category of people that have seen the movie. I went and saw it Monday with my girlfriend for her birthday, and wow, it was fantastic. It was really good. And apparently we're not the only ones that think that, because
What are you
that movie.
Are you doing that?
Are you pointing to the Cubs game?
Yeah, no, I'm trying to point to the Cubs game. I suck at that. That movie in the top corner of the screen, it has done incredibly well in the box office. In fact, they're saying that it's made the most money in a movie in September since, I believe, the mid '80s. Since Crocodile Dundee, that's what it was. Since Crocodile Dundee. And as far as a horror movie goes, who knows how long back it's going than that. Man, it was so much fun.
Yeah, it was a good movie.
It was so much fun as a movie. It was scary. It was hilarious. It was fun at times. The rock fight and stuff, like,
it's well done. It followed the book. It was one of the remakes that actually works when it adds.
Yeah.
Like, if you're gonna remake something, you want to add to what is out there already. You don't want to just
Make
do the
it
same
better.
thing. Yeah, exactly. Do a different. Bill Skarsgård did a fantastic job as Pennywise.
Sweet.
And he didn't use CGI. Like, when his eyes were moving in 2 separate directions, that was actually him doing that. Just the story was good. They touched on some things that were on the book that, they probably couldn't go into further detail without going into NC-17 territory.
Yeah.
And it wasn't just jump scare city. That's what a lot of the horror movies are now. It's like jump scare. Like, literally, like, they just put the words on the screen, and that's what it is.
Yeah.
So
The kids.
it's Bulma.
The kids were.
He's wearing Bulma.
Turn the corner.
The kids were the best thing about it, in my opinion. Like, especially the Stranger Things kid. Man, he was so funny
You
in
got
that
it
movie.
all over you.
Oh yeah, I turned the corner and
Oh no.
Does it say that
We
it's
won't
hot
even-
because
we
you
won't
can
even
sue
talk
them?
about the color of the shirt he's wearing.
Oh yeah, we'll see how that looks here on the green screen.
Well,
Here in a
it'll
minute.
just be a floating like half a floating half naked Bulma right
It doesn't
there.
look as bad as that one time where you literally were like,
A floating head.
yeah, a floating head.
CJ wore a shirt that was the exact same tone green as the green screen.
Yep.
I mean, he might as well have wrapped himself in.
I mean, what are you talking about? We shoot this at a bar every week.
yeah, we bring
Yeah,
the green
right?
screen
Yeah.
to the bar.
Yeah, this
That
is at a
that
bar.
is a bar behind us. We're at the underground pub.
It's technically
Yeah.
a wall
It's
behind
where we
it.
have
maybe
our show.
maybe it's a speakeasy that they have to show up, knock on the door a few times.
But yeah, dude. I mean, I thought it was great. I cannot recommend it enough. If you haven't seen it yet, get out there and go see it. It's phenomenal. I would love to hear what more people's opinions are. But you haven't seen it yet, have you?
No.
I harassed him on Saturday about it.
No, I loved it. I absolutely loved it. I've
This
been
guy here, and you're just gonna start breaking my shit?
That's what we
I've been
do.
kind of like shoulder shrugging on like a lot of the movies I've seen too. Like, it was okay, or it sucked, but that shit was awesome.
Okay. Well, it still wasn't in my face. No, it is. I
There
guess.
you go.
Well, what's
up, buddy?
How you doing?
Welcome to the
No,
show,
it's-
man.
It's still wet.
You got some
Hot coffee.
stuff in your beard.
Probably caramel.
Other direction. Right there. There you go.
How come your views suck?
Because you guys are sitting here talking about what's in Bobo's beard. That's why they suck.
True. Heard.
No,
Fair
it's
enough.
because we were missing the third part of our tricycle. You know.
Seems to be fine when you're not here.
Well, no, he's the third part. Well, maybe on the fourth part. I don't know. We'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens, right?
Okay, so I'm replaceable and he's not. That's what it really comes down to.
Well, now that we got that out of the way,
There was some more violent speed momentum over the weekend.
was there?
Yeah. This guy, what was that, Good Game? When'd you post that, on Thursday or Friday?
Posted on Friday.
Friday.
Yeah. I could tell by the way things were going and how my team was heading that there's nothing that dude could possibly do to catch up with me.
I tried it.
Yeah.
I tried it Thursday against Schreiber, and I lost
Oh, yeah.
miserably.
Well, there's a difference though.
I have the revert.
team.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm number one scoring. Am I right?
Probably. Yeah.
I sure I am.
Yeah.
I go in, I see the team, I fuck the team, then I leave the teams. That's what I do.
Do you leave change for them to get an Uber or a
They,
cab?
well,
later?
if they're lucky. I mean, usually it's done in the park lot before we can get to the house. They can just walk from there. But
Yeah.
no, my
Fair
team is fucking real. Have you seen it?
Yeah,
I
I've seen
lost
the team.
best, arguably one of the best running backs, or was supposed to be the best running back this year. I lost him. My team didn't fucking care. They don't care. My team does not care.
Yeah, you don't care. You just keep moving.
It just keeps going forward violently
Yes.
through all my oppositions.
And quickly.
No, it's quite. There's speed there.
And momentum.
It just goes at a
And
steady pace.
it builds momentum from
Steadily,
the violence and speed.
quickly, violently, violent speed momentum.
It's good. It's a 14-man league.
My team.
In a 14-man league to pull a team together like that, I don't know what the fuck was going on.
Well, you had Crabtree, who blew up.
He's done well like that.
You didn't start Chris Thompson. You picked him up, right?
I've had him the whole time though.
You had him the whole time.
Yeah.
Kareem Hunt, who is the fantasy MVP through the first two games. I think we can all agree on that.
Yeah.
Winston for the Bucks. He had a pretty good game. Well, actually, you know what?
It wasn't all that
It
great.
wasn't that great, actually.
It wasn't that great, but
it
didn't matter.
Was that Connor Cup for the Rams?
Yeah.
He's been unsung so far, but pretty good. Bennett for the Green
He
Bay.
hasn't really done a heck of a lot,
CJ
but it's a tight end spot. Doesn't matter.
It's pretty
CJ
good.
Anderson, he's been all right.
I have him on my team. He's basically the reason why I won. So
Yeah, I mean, I
Yeah.
think he
My
catapulted himself to like the number 2 fantasy running back.
We're actually
Yeah.
discussing my team right now, though.
My team in that league lost by less. My team in that league lost by less than half a point. Ooh, did that hurt, man?
The best part is someone else again has been projected to win, and again I will show you the projections. Are
hey, I think there's an
meaningless.
IR spot in this league, so you can move.
Is there? 'Cause
Yeah,
I was going to
Yeah,
ask.
you might,
Okay,
you
so-
might need to do that.
I'm helping my opposing team. There is an IR spot, so you can move. What's his face, David Johnson. I'm excited. I'm excited about Christian McCaffrey this weekend against the Saints because
Yeah,
the
you should
Saints,
do well. Finally.
who ESPN has fully jumped on and just ragging us.
They've
I'm just telling you
they've
this.
been ragging us. What are you
No.
talking about?
This is like the first I've ever even when they talk about the Browns, McCaffrey should begin paying off a bit more against the Saints' joke of a defense.
Oh wow.
Yeah, rank him as a decent RB2. So yeah, we're donezo.
Yeah. Saints look
It's
terrible
week
this year.
week 3, but we're done.
Yeah, it's
And
not looking good.
if any other Saints
guy is
fans
done
are out
so.
there, you can call me up.
Why is your team
850-977.
trash on defense again?
You know what?
Why does they-
It's the same. It's
How do
Groundhog
they not
Day.
know that they're trash?
No, they know we're trash, man.
It is kind of beside me, man. I mean,
How does your coaching staff, the owner, people with money and on the how does no one not know?
Because they're idiots.
Yeah, I mean, it is definitely time for
the mystery
him
is gone.
and
There is
Mickey
no
Lou.
mystery.
Oh no! Here. I got something for you, Bobo.
No,
defense-
no bounties equal no tackles. Nate Singleton.
Yeah, because that extra $500 will make the huge difference.
Well, that's. Is that true?
No,
Everything went downhill after
Just
that.
listen to this, okay? We traded Jimmy Graham, Darren Sproles, Kenny Stills, Brandon Cooks, and a fourth for Ryan Ramczyk, Max Unger, Stephon Anthony, Darnell Elby, PJ Williams, and Ronald Powell.
Yep.
I don't know who some of those people are.
I don't know who most
On the
of them are,
second
and
list.
they play
I know
for the
everyone on the
Saints.
first list.
Okay, so
The second list, I'm
we're
like,
talking
who is
about one of the best tight ends in the league at the time, game changer, Sproles, good third down back, game changer for us. Kenny
that?
Stills.
You guys use Sproles better than anyone else.
Oh,
has,
absolutely.
so-
We use Jimmy Graham better than anybody else.
True.
Brandon Cooks, who opened up the field for Michael Thomas. And we've
Kenny
been
Stills
finding
wasn't a
out-
bad receiver either.
Nope.
He had some
And
good,
a
great
fourth
plays.
round pick for 2 linemen. One's still a rookie, so it's still out there. Linebacker that constantly got hurt, but he was great on Twitter, saying what a blessed day he was having. PJ Williams from Florida State, who's and then Ronald Powell, a guy from Florida that never played.
Yeah.
So
I
that's
mean,
that's
it's-
just about and whose fault is it? Is the guy directly above me because
You're good at that,
excuses
CJ.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you do a lot better than I do.
excuses are
Now,
gone.
does he hire? Is he in charge of the
Trades.
This guy is
trades and picking
donezo.
up and dropping off and all that good stuff too? Or I'm sure he has a voice, but
He's,
is he
he's,
like?
he's the head coach.
It would be
of
him
fo-
and Mickey Loomis, the
we
general
have,
manager.
Yeah, we have a penny pincher GM who's great about pushing back contracts. We have so much dead money on our hands; it's ridiculous.
Yeah, it was. I mean,
We fired
especially,
our-
especially
yeah.
going back a few years ago, it was real bad.
We fired our scouting staff and replaced it with the guys that used to do the Dolphins scouting staff. We we
for
finally
less-
fired.
Hopefully, he was cheaper, right?
Yeah, we finally fired our defensive line coach and our linebacker coach. That's
Was that
paid-
recent?
Yes, this past season. That's paid off
Oh,
so
I mean,
far.
like, who's been fired yesterday? Has anyone been fired on the
No,
defensive side
nobody's been
yesterday?
fired. We got rid of our Stephon Anthony, the first linebacker that we took in the first round for Jimmy Graham. Like we basically traded Jimmy Graham for this guy that couldn't get on the field. Wherein Kyle Hendricks, I believe his name is, for the Vikings is a absolute stud.
Yeah.
So it's just. It's time to end this never-ending story.
Yeah,
It's the same story every year. We've been doing this. This is the 46th episode that we've been doing this.
Yeah.
You can probably go back to the first episode.
And
You'll
I'm
see
sure
me.
my first joke was
Yeah.
about the Saints defense.
It was like literally, you're like Saints defense garbage, and I'm sitting here like, no, we're gonna be totally better. I got no proof, but we're gonna be better.
Almost
and then
50
yeah,
shows.
it's
Same
the
story.
same thing.
As
man.
not even just a fan, but as a person that just watches football, you have to figure eventually they're gonna do something about it. I mean, and even this year, like I felt like myself and a lot of other Saint fans kind of got their hopes up because I know it's just preseason, but it looked a lot better in that.
It did look better. I ate the cheese.
Yeah, I ate the cheese myself. But it looked better, and I mean, there was a lot of different players on there. And I mean, sometimes that does seem to turn into a good formula. I've seen it happen with a lot of teams before where it doesn't necessarily have to be high draft picks or any of that stuff. Just a new regime of players seems to just work well. I was honestly thinking this was going to be a lot better.
I just told you it was going to be shit.
Well, yeah, I know you did.
And guess
a lot
what,
of people
Bobo?
did, and
You
you
were
were right. But yeah, I mean, gosh, by what, like midway through the second quarter of the Vikings game, I was like, this looks terrible.
It's
And
the
then-
same story.
Yeah, it's the same fucking story.
The
And
Jags have a better record than the Saints.
Because they are better. The Jags are a better team than us.
says a guy that literally jumped ship off a team and
Dude,
became a fan of another team.
Was Nate originally a Saints fan?
yeah,
When I
Nate
met him,
was,
he was, yeah.
Well, Nate was a Saints fan, but
Nate Singleton, are you a bandwagon fan? They're saying that you're a
how are you-
bandwagon fan.
Well, the thing is, how are you a bandwagon if you jump off a team that just won a Super Bowl to the Jags?
I think he did it because he didn't want to be associated with quote unquote annoying Saints fans. I think that's kind of the story I remember.
But he associates himself with annoying Florida State fans. So
well, I mean, I think that's staying. But
This is where you pucker up and kiss my ass.
sorry, Kenny. No, I mean, like,
but no, I mean, yeah. So
Yeah.
the Saints. There's really not much more else to say. The defense is still bad. They're probably going to get beat this Wednesday. He says, "Whoa,
Whoa.
whoa, come on,
is it listen?
shut up,
It's
up.
listen.
But no, no, yeah,
He
Saints
needs
pretty,
to call in and defend himself.
the Saints are pretty bad. I'm pretty sure they're going to lose this Wednesday.
They're going to lose a lot of games.
Yeah,
this
they're
year.
going to lose a lot of games, and I'm saying it now.
Yeah.
I said it a couple days ago. 0-4. It's time to let Sean Payton go. It's time.
They might as well finish the season. But I was looking at the schedule earlier.
Yeah.
0-6
It's a
It's very
is
possibility.
possible.
a very
Yeah.
big possibility because we go to Carolina and then we travel to London to go play the Dolphins, who aren't that bad.
They're not-
okay.
and they're competent with
Yes.
their decentness.
And then we have
that game is more of a coin toss just because it's in London. But I mean, yeah, we have a better chance of losing than winning.
and
for
then
sure.
we come back and then we have to play Detroit. And Detroit is not bad.
No,
a
they're
good
actually
team, too.
quite good right now.
And then we have to go play Green Bay.
Defense is good for sure.
Mark Lopez says his Sundays suck now.
Did I
Yeah.
tell you
Yeah,
guys
I
that
agree, Mark.
my
They
dad
are
is
pretty
actually
lame.
going to England for that Saints game?
That
Oh,
should be
really?
an awesome. Yeah.
They fly
It'll be a
out.
cool experience. At least,
That is the one game where I think we might pull it off. So I'm thinking we might be 1-5. But
Yeah.
I don't see us beating Detroit, and I don't see us beating Green Bay.
Yeah, definitely not.
Like-
although the Packers did lose this past weekend too.
Doesn't the Miami Dolphins, not to interrupt, but don't they always go to England often? Or is it Jacksonville
the
always?
Jacksonville Jaguars.
It is Jacksonville.
they're-
As I said that.
They
yeah.
play this
They're playing
week.
there this weekend. Yeah, against the Ravens, right?
That's the London home team.
And the Patriots.
Amber Alert, 2016 dark green Toyota
You're
Corolla.
just now getting that. I got that like
I
an
got
hour
it
ago.
again.
Oh, really?
I thought those were about hot girls named Amber there.
Amber's still out there.
But yeah. So yeah, I mean that's pretty much the story with the Saints right now. I mean, I'm pretty much eager for them to just go ahead and start cleaning house.
Yeah, I'm
It
I
done.
think they will though, because he won a Super Bowl for y'all. Just
It,
not
does,
giving
it
him
was
a
too
vote.
long
it doesn't
ago,
matter.
man.
We're talking
Yeah,
about
yeah.
2009. We're going almost 10 years since that happened, and that's 4 years since 4 years of 0-3, 0-4 starts. As much as I hate to give a show on ESPN credit, Stephen A. Smith on First Take the other day said it best himself. It's almost like the Saints have criminally destroyed one of the careers of one of the best quarterbacks in the league.
Yeah.
And I kind of agree. As much as I love the Saints, and don't get me wrong, I'm not going to be one of those Saints fans that just immediately change teams or saying, I don't care about it anymore. That's
Not
my
gonna be a
team.
Nate Singleton.
That's my team. I love the Saints. That's my team.
Yeah.
But yeah, we kind of fought Drew Brees a little bit. Like,
Well, he
I
didn't.
mean-
he didn't help by he's had a huge contract for years.
yeah, I mean there
he
is that.
He
I'll give
could
you
have taken a
that.
pay cut, and we could have got some help, like Brady did, but he didn't do that. And he doesn't
That
have
did
to.
happen. Good- yeah,
It's
good
not.
point.
I mean, he didn't have to, but I don't want to talk about the Saints all night. This is the last thing I'm going to say. I would rather see Drew Brees in a different uniform winning the Super Bowl next year than going 7-9 with us next year.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, that's all I got to say about that. In the words of Forrest Gump.
Now let's talk about Green Bay and Atlanta.
Yeah, that. I mean, now, in fairness, you were the only one out of all of us, I think, that were confidently saying Green Bay's gonna kick their ass. Me and Bobo were kind of looking down at the ground, like, well, I don't know.
That's just because I hate
Yeah, I
it.
put it out there. I really thought that at home in Atlanta with their new stadium, and they already had the momentum of the series momentum of that crushing defeat.
They did it with
I
violence and
figured
speed,
Green
too.
Bay would come out there with some fight because of what happened, but
Especially with
they did actually eventually. It wasn't for, well, I mean, I hate to do what ifs, but the fumble really didn't help matters out at all, and the offense really seemed to click in the fourth quarter. If that fumble might not have happened, who knows? But at the end of the day, they got beat. Wasn't as bad as it could have been. It was looking pretty horrible there for a minute.
yeah, but when I was
a
watching
loss
the
is a
game,
loss.
it was down pretty
it doesn't even
low.
fucking matter. But yeah, I almost figured that was going to happen.
So while we're on the subject of it, I know we don't need to elaborate on it if we all think it's a certainty. Well, me and Caesar were kind of talking about this a little bit before you got here, but let's break it down to two categories right now. As far as let's start with right now. After 2 weeks in the NFL, who do you think is the best looking team right now? Out of all 32, who do you think is the best looking one right now?
Kansas City's definitely one of them.
Yeah, I agree.
Due to always a great defense, no matter what's going on.
That Kareem
and
Hunt
who's
guy's not
where.
bad.
The offense is looking pretty good. What's his face is actually everyone's like, I can't believe he's passing this well.
Alex
But
Smith.
he's actually, I mean, he's a veteran now. He's been in the league for so long. I mean, he should have some idea what the fuck he's doing out there now, you would think. And that's what's pretty much what seems to be happening. He knows what he's doing now. He's probably reading defenses a lot better than he ever has before. And he's he's more challenging with his passes now. He's, letting him go a little bit more. And he probably has I wouldn't say this is the best offense he's had around him, because he has had some pretty good offensive players, but I don't know. Maybe there's just something about this team he really likes, or maybe the old coach decided to be like, fuck it. Andy Reid's like, you know what? Let's just see what we can do. Let's throw the ball a little bit more. Yeah, whatever they're doing, it's working.
Yeah.
It is working quite well.
He's an underrated runner too.
We know that one. I'm not gonna lie. The Denver Broncos, I like what I've seen out of them in 2 weeks, especially that huge victory against the Cowboys. Trevor Siemian looks like he's really coming into his own. C.J. Anderson's playing well.
I'm a little too early to call that.
Well, yeah, I mean, after 2 weeks is just what I'm going by.
Yeah.
After 2 weeks, I like what I've seen. Yeah, they've definitely got some tough matchups ahead of them, but
I was very sad to see Zeke get nothing on Sunday.
I wasn't. I only have him in one league, so like I still won in that league. But like it was kind of hilarious to see the Cowboys like
What
play
happened to them?
What didn't happen is more.
They lost.
The question.
They shut
Faster
down
football.
Zeke, and that team is one-dimensional.
Yeah, it was almost like the Cowboys might have been exposed a little bit. I think. I mean, around this time last year, we started talking about how the Cowboys might be one of the best teams in the league. I'm not saying that now. Definitely not. I wouldn't even put them in the top 5 after what I saw against the Broncos. Broncos are really good, but
Defense is really good.
yeah, I feel like if you expose a team like that, then suddenly, I think more losses are going to follow. Maybe not a lot, but some. CJ, who are you liking right now for the best team in the league?
I mean, the Chiefs are up there. The Ravens,
Yeah,
quietly
Ravens do
having
look
a really
good.
I mean, I know they played both Ohio teams, but they have 4. I think it was like first team to have 4 interceptions and 3 sacks in the first 2 games, or vice versa. Their defense is underrated. The Raiders,
Yeah,
Nate just commented on,
the Raiders,
they're up there.
Looking really good.
Denver, I'm still kind of shaky on Simeon, but with that defense, they don't need too much behind them. Atlanta, as much as I hate them, they look just as good as they did last year.
You think so?
See,
Yeah,
I'm iffy about that start they had against Chicago. It was a close game against what looks like to be a bad team this year.
First
but
game of the season, man.
Fair enough.
Sometimes, but
I don't know if I'm ready to put them in that category with Denver and Kansas
I'd
City
rather-
just yet.
like barely win every week than what we're doing. That's
Well,
what
yeah.
that's what we're talking about. Like
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously, I would rather win than
that's
lose
what,
too.
like,
But
I keep hearing about people talking about Falcons, like, but they barely win. I'm like, well, they still freaking won.
yeah, true.
You
I
know,
mean,
like,
that the point I'm getting is just like, I mean,
But that didn't help them out at the end of the year in the Super Bowl, though.
No, it
Barely
didn't.
yeah,
winning.
well, that was one of the greatest games I've ever seen in my
Yeah.
life. But still, I don't know. If you had to put a gun to my head, I'd probably say the Chiefs.
Heard.
You've seen the best team. In the
all
league.
right. So let's flip flop
Yeah,
this now.
where did the Raiders come from?
I think it's pretty obvious, and I think the same goes for last year that nobody's fucking with the AFC West right now.
No, not at all. I mean, unless
Except for the LA Chargers.
yeah, the LA Chargers, who
They don't even want that team in LA.
Before we get to before we get to the next part of this topic, I sent a picture of this. The LA Chargers, the LA Rams, and USC all had games that weekend in LA, and USC had a bigger attendance than the Rams and the Chargers did combined. I mean, that is horrible. That is so bad. Yeah, see, there it is. 84,000.
Now, to be fair, traditionally that's how it is. There's usually more attendance at college games. They have bigger stadiums and so
But this
on.
is going against 2 different games.
No, I get it.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm from LA. I know that town doesn't know how to NFL.
Well, I mean,
and where it's at is like way out of the way from where like the main part of LA is. Too.
Yeah.
It's like 40 minutes or something, and it's
Yeah,
it's a soccer stadium.
yeah, and the Chargers aren't selling that out in LA, and like it kind of I think that's a little bit poor planning on the city's part by putting a huge college, well, not a huge, but a big college team playing the same week in the same town as 2 home games in this all in the same town of an NFL team. Like that's a lot. I mean, I know LA's got a lot of rich people that live there, but that's a lot of football fans for one weekend, and that's a lot of money right there. All of that's generating a lot of money, so I mean, it's gonna be hard to sell that out. But 2, I mean, is this a showing that maybe this is a giant, huge mistake on the NFL?
It's a huge mistake.
2 NFL teams.
Spanos
they're
is a
building
terrible
them
owner.
both one stadium, correct?
Yeah, that is happening.
There was more Dolphins fans at that game this past weekend. The Dolphins, and they're not known to be a traveling
There are
team.
more Dolphins at the USC game than there were at the Chargers game.
I believe that. Yeah, I mean, it's moments like these where I do kind of feel for the San Diego and St. Louis fans. They actually
They fired Marty Schottenheimer. Fuck the fucking Chargers. They can all lose every game in the world and fucking fall off a cliff.
Well, there you go. Fuck them. Who cares?
That was so long ago.
Don't care. Don't care. It was very rude what they did to Marty Schottenheimer.
Yeah, I
Very
mean, they
rude.
went. He did go 14
And look
and
what
2 and
happened.
got
Look what
fired.
happened. Look what's happening to them. They're perpetual shit.
Go fuck
Just
yourself, you son
nonstop
of a bitch!
shittery.
I'll come
They're
right
not
out of the
even
booth
fans,
and
they
fucking whack you,
By the way,
fucking
if you
prick.
guys are out there watching right now and
They
you want to
fucked that
chime,
dude over. Go ahead.
by the way, if you guys are out there watching, you want to chime in on the state of LA and football, or your favorite team currently in the NFL, or your least favorite team, as we're about to get into, make sure you call the hotline. CJ, what is the hotline?
It's at 850-907-7686.
Yeah, call the hotline. Come talk to us.
Also, I do have to give one little thing. My dad mentioned the Steelers because there's only one team in the league apparently. When we were talking about best teams in the league, they almost lost to the Browns. That's the only reason why I'm not anointing them as one of the top teams.
But we were literally just talking about how the Falcons barely got away from the Bears.
Yeah, but they're the Browns. They're just, you know.
Fair enough.
Did
Okay.
your
I
dad
was-
also mention Ohio State in that comment?
No, he hasn't mentioned Ohio State
Oh,
yet.
okay.
I'm sure he will.
Let me know if he does.
Yeah, Ohio State.
Today, a king cobra.
Yeah, I got him a king cobra.
You're
Show
gonna,
it to the camera.
you're gonna shit water.
Yeah, it's gonna be bad news.
I picked up my Pina Colada Energy Rockstar.
We
and got
stopped
him a
for
King
gas on the
Cobra.
way over, and I offered to pay for CJ's gas for all the rides he gives me, and I said, "Will you give me a beer?" This is what he got me, a king cobra.
Yep.
it
So,
smells like peanut water, doesn't it?
I'm already not excited about drinking this, but damn it, it's gonna happen.
dude, your
When you're a
your
Saints
cool
fan in
points just went
27,
up.
when you're a Saints fan in 2017, you have to start living large. You
Yeah,
know?
that definitely goes hand in hand.
So
not liquor and-
so anyways, let's go on the opposite side of what we were talking about. Now we already talked about the Saints, so I mean, other than them, who do you guys think are the worst teams out there in the NFL right now? There's a lot of 0-2 teams right now. As Kenny said, there's some really bad looking stuff out there.
yeah,
Amber is still out there.
some pretty horrible teams.
But Bubba, who do you think is the worst looking team in the NFL right now?
Well, the Saints look
Yeah,
pretty
I'll take a
bad.
call.
They do, yeah, they look bad. Who else do you think is worse?
Let's
I say
see.
the Colts.
You know, I don't think
Even though
the
they can beat
Jets.
the
I think the
Saints.
Colts have surprised me more than the.
Caller online.
All right,
What's up, caller?
we'll get to that later. All right, what's up? You're on the Underground Pub Show with Schreiber, CJ, and Bubba. Who's this?
It's Ryan.
Hey, what's up, man? How you doing?
I'm doing all right, guys.
Good, man.
Sitting at the house watching the show.
Is it a real person?
Well, yeah, this is a real live person.
We're not used to that.
Ryan.
This is a real person.
We get a lot of people impersonating people sometimes on the show as far as
talking about
callers
Charles
go.
Barkley called us
Yeah,
last
so it's
week.
it's nice that we actually have a real caller. Well, buddy, how you doing this evening?
I'm doing all right, man. Yeah, the Saints are garbage.
Yeah,
Saints gotta go.
we've definitely
No argument on
established
this
that.
end.
In the league, I think the worst team in the league would probably be it's a tie between the Saints and Cleveland.
See,
it's
I'm
just-
right now.
it's
I'm
just
thinking
horrible.
the Bengals. The Bengals have yet to score a touchdown in 2 games.
I
And,
still think the
mean,
Bengals would score 5 touchdowns against the Saints defense, though.
I don't know if I'd go that
Yeah,
far.
exactly.
I mean, I think they would get touchdowns,
you put
but
Cincinnati and Andy Dalton in New Orleans, and we're gonna lose.
Schreiber, I think
No.
it's time you let it go, man. Just
no,
let
I
it
mean,
go. Come on,
I
man,
think
let
I
it
think the
go.
Bengals are worse than the Saints. That does not mean that's not giving the Saints a compliment. I would at this point in time, I almost think I would rather be worse than them because at least we would get a better draft pick. But I mean the Bengals. I mean, have you watched the Bengals game? It's bad, dude. The Saints can actually move the football on the Patriots. I mean, not well, but they did. The Bengals couldn't do it on the Texans in Thursday Night Football.
Texans have a good defense.
I mean, still. Okay, who do
they call her? I completely agree with you. I'm a huge Saints fan. He's a huge Saints fan. I've already given up.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm a realist. After 1,052 yards in 2 games, I did the math.
That's how much offense people have done on the.
Yes,
Yeah.
we've given up.
Yeah, it's bad.
We've given up 29, and this past one was 33 points, 36 points. And over 1,000 yards in 2 games. I did the math. It's over 8,000 yards that we're going to give up.
And the penalties, Jesus Christ! I mean, the penalties in the Patriots game on one drive, they had 2 interceptions called back. One for too many men on the field, and then one on a Kenny Vaccaro penalty. That's terrible. I mean, against a team like the Patriots, you need those.
Terrible. It's inexcusable.
Yeah.
And as much as Sean Payton's done for New Orleans and Drew Brees has done,
all good things got to come to an end, man.
I don't want to say goodbye to Drew Brees just yet. I'm not ready to pull that trigger, but
that guy's
I do
done
think Payton has overstayed his welcome. Well, and just the team management in general. I mean, the front office
bad.
Just slaughtered that roster and slaughtered that team.
Mm-hmm.
It is very bad.
Anybody good that we've had, they've gotten rid of.
Yeah, Ryan. Personally, I think that we've seen the last of Drew Brees over New Orleans. This is a contract year for him. You got to keep that in mind. That's why I believe that we've probably seen the last of him in New Orleans after the season. I don't think they get rid of him before the season ends, but at the end of this year, I do believe we're going to lose him. Just judging by what you've seen in college right now, is there a guy that stands out to you that you might want to see in black and gold next year? Maybe following in Drew Brees' footsteps?
As a rookie, maybe not. I honestly,
or even as a backup.
That kid out of Clemson, like a couple of years from now, that kid from Clemson, their quarterback, as young as he is, and the confidence he plays with.
Yeah,
I think he'd be a great. But of course, you have to get rid of Peyton and totally change up the scheme because I don't think he'd fit into that type of offense.
It'd be the same. Well, I think we're all in agreement. Sean Payton is not going to be there next year. At least I'd be very surprised if he was. But I mean, even the same thing with maybe Lamar Jackson from Louisville. Like,
I don't really want him, man.
Yeah, I don't either. But
I mean, he's too small.
Yeah. No. Now,
I see him going the way of Teddy Bridgewater.
I do like Oklahoma State's quarterback a lot, Mason Rudolph. I actually got a chance.
Even Baker Mayfield, honestly, Baker
Mayfield, yeah, he's really good too. I had the chance to actually watch Mason Rudolph play live a couple weeks ago in Mobile. They played South Alabama. Oklahoma State did, and I went to that. And the size that this guy has, the arms. I mean, I know they were playing against South Alabama, but this team has dominated so well against their first 3 opponents that they're already the number 4 ranked team in the nation. So they climbed from, I believe it was number 11. Number 4 right now, and they were actually supposed to be well tested against Pittsburgh last week and put 59 points on them. And I believe Mason Rudolph was pulled in the 4th quarter because he was on board to break like 800 yards passing, like if they hadn't pulled him or whatever. So I got a lot of faith in that guy. I would like to see what he does down the line or whatever, and see where he ends up maybe next season. I think I know he's a Heisman candidate, so there's always that too, but. So I don't know. I mean, yeah, the Saints have got a lot of house cleaning to do. But outside of the Saints, though, who else is really stinking up the NFL for you?
Oh, I mean, I hate the Patriots, so I'm not even going to go there. But Tom Brady, I think he definitely may have cursed that team. I wouldn't be surprised if he has a season-ending injury as well. But I haven't gotten to watch a whole lot of football so far this year.
Well, you're a new father. I know how that goes.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
But the Texans, man, the Texans are just. Besides and Cincinnati too, they just.
And Cincinnati's about as bad as it gets, man.
I mean, the Browns are always a given, but the Bengals and the Texans, I'm surprised with the Bengals. Like I don't know why. After they've had a pretty good recent success, outside of not winning.
Yeah, they usually don't suck till they get to the playoffs.
Yeah, exactly. It's usually in the playoffs when they suck. But right now, like nothing is working over there, dude. They can't stop anything. They can't throw anything. It's just. They've 2 games, 0 touchdowns. That's
Yeah, that's extremely surprising, especially with AJ Green and Andy Dalton for as much people rag on him. He is a really good quarterback.
Yeah, he used to not suck. I don't know what's going on right now.
I know somebody at this table that just dropped him.
Yeah, I actually had him in a starting quarterback as my starting quarterback in a 14-man keeper league where I had the 11th pick in this year, which was not a fun draft by any means necessary. And either way, he was gone and off my roster Monday morning after first week.
You gotta drop him during the game.
I mean, if it would have let me, I would have. If it would have let me drop him during the middle of that game, I would have. But I mean, right now I'm riding with Flacco in that league, which is actually paying off. Better than it was with fucking Andy Dalton, that's for sure. Yeah. Anything is better than Andy Dalton.
I don't know what's going on. That seems more mental than anything.
I could have started Peyton Manning or Tim Tebow. Yeah. Well, hey, Ryan, thank you very much for the call, man. It was nice to hear from you, bro.
Thanks for calling, man.
Yeah.
Thanks.
All right, have a good night, brother. All right.
I kind of like Flacco.
I mean,
I don't know why, but I do.
He's one of those guys that I never have gone after in fantasy, but right now I like him. Even though I still lost in that league, right now I like him.
There's some good players on the free agency in that league.
Yeah, I know. I've been scouting it out. But so we mentioned so Colts, I guess, is what you're going with, is the worst looking team right now.
Yeah.
I mean, do you think that's gonna change whenever Andrew Luck gets back, if he even does?
Back. No, you're just gonna get killed behind that offensive line. If you have Dante Moncrief, he might throw the ball to him, but I don't know. I do want to go a little off topic because I think Bobo was gone when we talked about it. But how about that Florida game, man?
Yeah,
it's fun
bring that back. Yeah,
he actually the quarterback looked good at the end, man.
Because I was expecting overtime, right? So me and Joe's like, let's go eat at Jerry's Diner, right quick, just down the road from both of us. Watch the game there. So get in my car, get ready to head down there, and all of a sudden I turn the car like, run, run. Like, motherfucker. I get out my car, run back inside the house, and I see one dog piling in the end zone. I'm like, so there was a pass? What? I had no idea. I had to wait because, of course, they're going to talk for minutes and minutes, and then finally they show the replay. They're like, oh, cool. Then I got in my car and head down to Jerry's Drive.
I love that that's your reaction. It was a pass?
Well, I mean, it happened? We were talking about it before you got here. It was
the thing is, where I left them at, when I left to get in my car, there was no way in hell that could have been a pass. No. But it was a pass. But I was like, how did that get there? Because no one's running that far neither these days. So they're doing that five-yard offense right now in Florida, which I don't understand. But I was like, how the fuck did he get into the end zone? And I watched, was like, it was a pass. It was a fucking long pass.
Nate was saying that there's a hold.
Huh?
Nathan Singleton says
there's a hold in every single play in football, so whatever.
There was a really good run. I know people have been hating on the Texans, but Deshaun Watson, after he got decleated,
that was a good
by Geno Atkins. He had a 49-yard rushing touchdown that was really good. Kind of reminded me of a dog killer, the way he was running the ball.
Look at that pass,
dog killer.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if Blackbond can pass like that. The old stick man from Florida State. That dude weighs 80 pounds. Have you seen him?
Well, the guy from Florida State?
Yeah, he turned sideways. I couldn't find him anymore. I said, where'd he go? He is tiny. He is a tiny person.
What is your problem?
But tall. But tiny.
It was just funny that that Florida game ended that way, considering I remember I said this to CJ and I said on the show earlier today. That was one of the worst offensive games I've ever seen in my life. I remember watching.
It was, but at the same time, it had some moments of great offensive play.
Well, I mean,
and then it had great defensive play. Then it had bad defense. It was really weird.
It was entertaining to watch, but I remember sitting there thinking, how in the name of Christ are these two guys playing the best options for quarterback for both teams? Yeah. And then all of a sudden, this guy from the Florida Gators,
marks on my side,
from the Florida Gators, this guy out of nowhere turns into Aaron Rodgers on one play.
Look how it landed, dude. The thing was in full stride. It just happened to just turn around and there's the ball right there.
It landed right in him. I mean, whenever I heard that the play happened, I was in the middle of deep in the middle of work, and I got a notification about it on my phone, and I was like, "There's no way that just happened."
You're supposed to sort of fluke, someone actually kicked the ball or something.
I remember thinking, this has got to be wrong, and so I went to the bar at work, waiting to watch it. I was like, "Yeah, that didn't happen," and then I see him nope, something's got to be wrong because there's no way that guy from the Florida Gator, but it totally happened. And like me and CJ said earlier this morning, during the show, so it may have well kept Florida alive for at least the time being in the SEC rankings. So,
well, the East is shit, so they'll win anyway.
It is shit, yeah. All right, well,
beating Tennessee definitely helps.
Moving on, we've only got a little bit of time left, so let's go ahead and get into our picks for next week.
We got a lot of time left, man.
I was told otherwise. But let's go and get into our picks real quick. Starting with tomorrow night, Rams.
By the way, your time with Windows SU2 actually did count. I know you're thinking it probably didn't.
Yeah,
it did. Yeah,
it does count.
It is official time.
It does count.
Not much was going on, and no one was really talking. It was like,
we were
whatever,
just talking about stuff.
About the movie It. Which was great.
I don't know, man. I can't get into those white boy horror movies, but I'll give it a try.
What? There's a black kid in it.
There is a black kid in it, actually.
You guys know what I mean, though.
And he's actually an essential character in the movie.
You guys like those movies more than we do. And I'm not even trying to make it to a race thing.
What do you mean?
It's that way, man.
I do know what you mean.
Just that, do you not? You
I do
have to see it.
I do know what you mean, but this is better than that.
Okay,
it is better than that.
And there has been, and I've given it some effort, and I've seen some absolute lately genre.
Okay, I mean,
when I think major white people scary movie, I think more like I Know What You Did Last Summer or Scream.
This is not that.
Any kind of MTV
This
bullshit.
is not that at all.
I mean, that definitely is. I put that, but I also put like Freddy
Scream was a
Krueger,
good movie.
The first one was all right.
It was genre changing.
The sequels were almost genre ruining.
And mostly, I call it
reaches like the status of a cult classic. That transcends race.
It's really strange to me because I actually consider like Halloween and all that stuff to be more like white girl horror movies because those are the girls that get all that like. Never even like a fan of Friday the 13th or Halloween or whatever. It's always a super fan. 9 times out of 10, it's going to be a chick.
This is my experience. This is far different from that.
But anyway, I didn't even mean for it to even go there.
It
went out.
It's all good. I actually do see.
I see what you mean.
This, having seen a ton of those movies throughout my life, because I'll admit it, I did like a lot of them growing up. This is different than that.
It's a good movie.
And what makes it what
Stephen King movies do kind of go out of the norm of that type of
what I loved about this is that the majority of the actors in this movie and that they sit around are children.
Yeah.
And they're all great actors. They're hilarious too. They're very funny.
I'm just glad they didn't have the gangbang.
No, that was not in the movie. Okay. But
I know you give me shit for my movies, dude, but I'm telling you, this is a good movie. Like I would tell you, like, if it was shit. It's not shit.
This is really good.
I'll see it.
My girlfriend Denise, who does not get scared very easily in movies, said she had nightmares all night about it.
There was no jump scare, no loud music to make you jump on your seat.
There is jump scare, but it's done correctly. And you'll see what I mean when you see it as compared to like the fucking Conjuring movies.
You also know what I'm talking about. That shit's horrible.
They could literally just put the words on the screen. Jump scare.
There are jump scares. Like in the Conjuring movies, the jump scares aren't scary. It's just
the music is loud. It makes you jump because
all they're doing is they set up jump scares.
There are jump scares that happen because the scene that happens when the jump happens is actually terrifying.
Okay.
So you'll see. Just go see it one day. We'll talk about it. Before we have to go over time, let's go ahead and get to these.
I'm getting a call from someone who obviously doesn't watch the show.
Apparently not. All right, let's go through this real quickly, guys. Tomorrow night, Rams, 49ers in San Francisco. CJ, who you like?
Rams.
I'm going with the Rams too. Bubba.
Are the 49ers have a win yet?
Nope.
No, they do not.
That's another shit team we didn't mention.
Yeah, they are.
Oh, by the way, not to stop this again, but Cincinnati fans are asking about
Marvin Lewis?
No, quarterback.
Andy Dalton?
No, quarterback that
AJ McCarron?
That people don't like because he doesn't like to sit. He likes to sit down.
Colin Kaepernick?
Yes. They're asked about Colin Kaepernick. Like, there's been actual hubbub in Cincinnati.
Bring him over. Shit. What's the worst that could happen? Shit.
That's kind of what they're saying. I don't know if that's kind of like a huge fuck you to the Andy Dalton.
I would find it.
If that's what they're trying to do, or they
happened.
seriously want Colin Kaepernick.
Well, at least don't have to read ESPN and Yahoo articles every day. Why doesn't Kaepernick have a job?
We're gonna hear about it anyway.
Just give him a job already.
Give the man a job with Cincinnati Bengals and tell Andy Dalton to fuck off. All right, Bobo.
I'll take the Rams because
which is
the Rams
really fucking sad if you think about it, because the dude's been a solid quarterback for them. You know
that is not true. I mean,
he hasn't been horrible.
Oh, you're talking about Andy Dalton?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's been solid. Yeah,
and then he has two bad games. You know what I mean? That's not necessarily going to define his season. They could go on a fucking winning streak. It's the rest of the team around him that also sucks.
He did relatively bad last year. But Kenny, real quick, Rams 49ers.
Yeah, I'll take the Rams.
So all right, so we're all in
Pick
on
up
the Rams.
their defense and fantasy.
So we're on the Rams on that. All right, moving on to London, England, Jaguars and Baltimore Ravens. Bobo, who you liking in that one?
Jags in London.
Jags in London. Kenny, how about you?
I can't pick the Jags.
So you going with the Ravens? How about you, CJ?
I'm gonna go Ravens.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Ravens too on that one. All right, moving over to the game in Indianapolis, the Browns and the Colts. Keep this.
That's a classic.
Keep this in mind. The Browns are favored to win in Indianapolis,
As they should be.
as they should. I'm taking the Browns too in this
I
one.
will too.
So Bobo,
I'll
you
put
taking the
$5
Browns?
on it.
I'm all down for Browntown. Go Browns.
Kenny.
Nah, that barn's going to be burning like a motherfucker. Yeah, Browns.
So we're on the Browns on that one. All right, moving.
You've done a horrible thing with your franchise if the Browns are favored to win at home. against you.
Moving over to the city of brotherly love, the Eagles host the New York Giants. I am taking the Eagles real quick on that one. I think the Giants just suck this year.
Giants are lost. Even their coach is making fun of Eli now. It's
Yeah.
just bad. Giants will not win
That's
this
another
game.
shit team we did mention.
Yeah,
You can't be elite
their-
without
but
Eli.
their shittiness is because how great they're supposed to be.
Yeah,
Another one of those teams is supposed to be way up there. And
Brandon
they're like,
Marshall can't read the playbook, apparently.
yeah. Apparently
Really?
not. See,
Yeah, that's
all
what...
the teams he's played on, he can't understand the Giants
Yeah.
playbook.
I guess it's war and
It's
peace.
not
to
working-
him. You
it's just
can't
not working out,
Pick it
yeah.
up and get it going, man. I don't know why.
That's weird. I didn't know about that. But thanks for the info.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I have him on my fantasy team. That's why I'm paying attention because I backed him up to back up Beckham because I didn't know
Yeah.
if he was going to start. I figured it's just easy
He
to switch
doesn't
one in and
understand
out.
the playbook.
He's having trouble with the playbook.
Huh.
Yeah, like Ocho
He's
Cinco.
been
man,
in a
like-
few places though.
Yeah,
Like Ocho Cinco just went to one place and then he left and he was shit. But he's
yeah.
he was playing it. He was playing in a Mexican football league last year.
Marshall's been in Denver.
New York Jets,
He's in the Jets.
Chicago.
He's been with Chicago. Now, granted, he was with the same quarterback 2 times, but
Yeah, he dropped off his second year with the Jets.
was he in Miami for a year, or am I not thinking correctly?
No, I don't think he
Ocho
was.
Cinco?
No, Brandon Marshall.
Oh yeah, no, Brandon Marshall.
No,
yeah, I see. I
mean,
got
could be
confused there
wrong.
because it was actually Ocho Cinco.
All right, moving on. Let's
Moving
go.
on.
We're going to the game in New York.
I'm picking Philly, by the way.
Okay, nice. I thought you did say that. Okay.
No, I didn't. You
Oh.
didn't ask
You
me.
asked.
Yeah, you didn't ask. I don't think you asked Kenny either.
Oh, Kenny, who do you like in that game?
Yeah, I'll take Philly.
You taking Philly? Okay. So we're all in on Philly on that one. Going over the game over in New York against the Dolphins and the Jets. I am. TJ, who you liking that?
Which
Give
one?
up.
The Dolphins and the Jets.
Dolphins and
Give
the
me the
Jets.
Dolphins all day
Dun,
long, dude. Give me
dun,
the cut.
dun,
Do you see that
dun,
Hail Mary at the end of that
dun,
game?
Dolphins and
dun,
the
dun,
Jets.
dun, dun,
Dolphins and the Jets.
dun, dun.
You know what? I'm gonna go crazy with it. I think the Jets do the upset on this one. I'm gonna take the
over
Jets
the
on that
cut?
one. Over the Cutler, because Cutler sucks.
I'm going with Dolphins, just because.
The Jets are fucking terrible.
Tannehill started last week.
No,
Tannehill's
Tannehill's
no.
done with the season, man.
He can't even start a car with his leg.
No. CJ, you going with the Cutler on this one?
Dude, I'm always gonna go with the cuts. I'm gonna pick the Dolphins no matter who they play.
Yeah, that's
All right, cool.
CJ's unofficial favorite quarterback.
Yeah, he loves Jay Cutler.
Unofficially.
All right, staying in New York, the Buffalo Bills hosting the Broncos. I'm taking the Broncos all day on that one.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, Broncos. 'Cause
Yeah.
the Bills
Siege.
are left in the shithole after Ryan leaves, like he does. Just turns teams into complete garbage and then gets fired.
Defensively, they're pretty solid.
Well,
man.
that's how he leaves them. They can defend themselves for a little bit, but then even that just since
It's
Can
just
defend
they
themselves.
just don't have enough offensive power to fight back.
I'll go Broncos.
So Rex Ryan team, man.
You know, as bad as the Bills were,
Broncos.
they almost beat the Panthers. They had the ball at the end of
Yeah.
the game.
Okay.
Not the Saints.
We've
I don't know
we've
they're playing.
we've definitely talked about this game enough.
Carolina.
But let's go ahead and get this. The Saints going to Carolina. I'm taking the Panthers on this one. CJ, you're taking the Panthers. Bubby, you're taking the Panthers. Kenny, you taking the Panthers?
By
Cool.
a lot.
Anyways,
By the way,
CJ's the Saints fan that is just that upset about
When I
it.
was in
That's
North
the one
Carolina-
game the Jets will win.
With the Saints?
actually, when
Yeah,
I
they
was
might. Yeah, they might.
when I was in South Carolina, I mean, granted, I was in South Carolina, but it was funny because I'm sitting there getting some wings, and I'm like, God, there's so many fucking Panther fans around here. What the fuck's going on? And I realized I was in South Carolina. It was so weird and funny. It came to me. And then my friend's like, dude, all these fucking Panther fans are, man. I didn't know these guys existed. He goes, dude, we're in South Carolina right now. I'm like, oh, fuck yeah, that's right.
The one area of the world where you find Panthers
there were that
fans.
many of them. It was almost unnerving.
Like,
Like,
what?
all these people with their hats with the cats on it.
And okay, we got the Bears hosting the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm taking the Steelers in that game.
I'm taking the Bears.
You're taking the Bears?
Because why not? I like their weird running game.
Fair enough.
Their strange quarterback
that
whose
weird
name
running game
is unpronounceable to me right now.
CJ, what you like?
I'm gonna go the Steelers, but I really wish Jordan Howard would run the ball. I had Howard and Zeke. They let me down.
What's wrong with fucking?
I'll take Pittsburgh.
What's
Take
wrong
Pittsburgh.
with the Le'Veon Bell? He seems a bit. I just got a fat contract. Don't want to do shit mode right now.
He didn't.
Am I right?
He did not get the fat contract. He just held out and then showed it at training camp.
Oh, he never got the fat.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
he just
and
held
that-
out and showed it at training camp.
He'll bounce back this week. This is a
really?
good bounce back. game,
I
yeah.
said this at the beginning.
Week 3.
I said this earlier on in the show a couple weeks ago that I didn't trust Le'Veon Bell because these holdouts always
He
seem to
hasn't
fuck
done
players
double
up.
digits yet in 2 weeks.
Nope.
That's not like him.
You know what I mean? Maybe this whole not practicing thing has something to do with it.
Maybe it's like not playing thing now.
Well, I mean, he might end up on a different team next year. The
He'll get more
Falcons.
money.
The Falcons going over to Detroit to play the Lions. I am taking the Lions to win that game.
I will take the Lions too because they have a
Playing
surprisingly
well.
good defense right now.
Yep, the highest paid player in the league is
Very
playing like the
unlike
highest paid
them.
player in the league. I like it. CJ, who you like?
Who's the
I will go with the Falcons. Just
All right.
because no reason.
Heard. Okay. Kenny?
I think Detroit can handle that.
Heard that. So CJ, he's alone his principles on that one.
The because principles.
The because principles.
There goes CJ off to his room
What's
to write
going
that
on
next
here?
hit
Right.
song.
The Vikings
I love
hosting
my principles.
the Vikings hosting the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I picked the Bucks to win that game.
I think the Bucks should have a good team this year. They are.
Vikes.
They did start a
They're
game
playing-
down,
Minnesota
In
Vikings
Minnesota.
versus the Tampa Bay
so
Buccaneers.
we might see a better game this week
Yeah.
from them. But I would take, unless Bradford can start. He's day to day right now.
Yeah, I know.
If Bradford starts, that turns into a whole different ball game.
CJ,
That's
this is
fairly
fucking terrible, dude.
But yeah,
Dude,
if Brandon,
Man up.
if,
I'm trying to.
if he can go, then it's a different game.
All right, CJ, who you like, Bucks or Vikes?
And by the way, Jimmy Williams is watching. You don't call my phone to talk into the show. You call the show's number. He called my number.
I had
It doesn't
Charles
work that way.
Barkley did that to me last week.
The number is 850-907-7686, but we're probably going to leave here soon. But yeah, you can't call my phone to get on the show. It doesn't work that way. All right, go ahead.
I'm just gonna pick the Bucks because I think every NFC South team's gonna win except for the Saints. Like every week.
It just keeps going back to the Saints being bad with CJ. I'm
Well,
liking
they
it.
are.
I mean, I know they're bad.
They're your team.
But, like,
I'm no
but
longer
I mean, like,
emotionally invested in my
is the rest
team.
of NFC South that good? Like, I mean, I like the Bucks too, but
They're better
It's
than
gonna
the
be-
Saints.
well, yeah, I know
Yeah.
that.
So that's all it takes
Yeah,
to
true.
win.
But I mean, I don't know. I mean, I was kind of torn between it with the Vikings. Like, the Vikings look pretty good in the first week. They didn't look good last week. So
I think the Bucks have enough defense and enough offense to beat the Vikings.
yeah, agreed. All right, Kenny, how about you?
Yeah, it's going to be close. I see Dalvin Cook popping off again this week like he did in week 1.
Do you like the Vikings?
No, I think he's soft against real defenses. Watch.
Yep.
Heard. All right, the Texans and Patriots. I'm taking Patriots in that one. That game's in New England. I'm sorry.
I'm not taking the Texans because no.
Because no. CJ?
Patriots all day
Patriots.
long.
Patriots, you heard. All right, moving on. Titans and God damn it. The Titans and Seahawks in Tennessee. I'm taking...
That's a gross game.
That is a gross game. You know, I'm not going to lie. I think the Titans upset this game and win.
I was going to say Titans too
I don't
myself.
see really why that's much of an upset.
I don't know.
I guess
so
you're
far
right. I
this
guess
year,
They're balanced, man.
Yeah.
You know, they got a decent offensive attack. You know, they don't have the greatest defense in the league, but
well, they can score.
Right, no, absolutely. But their defense is they're ample. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And their offense seems like it's getting better week to week. So I
Question.
mean, granted, what they did to them was it was the Jags, but nonetheless, I mean that game week 1 against the Raiders. I mean that was a throwdown, man. And
Yeah.
those are two really good teams. I definitely gonna take Tennessee in that game.
Yeah. Okay.
There's a professional softball player calling me out in the chat Sam Bradford for the Vikings, if he plays, that makes a difference in that game. Yes or no?
Yeah, it does a little bit.
So
Yeah.
that almost changes that game.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
the ball can be passed, and it gets passed to that white dude, and that white dude starts scoring touchdowns. That's what's
So
going to
like
happen.
the team would do better if Bradford was playing as
I
opposed
personally
to
believe the
backup.
Bucs-
Is what
I-
you're trying to say.
Yes.
I think the Bucs are going to win regardless.
That
I
is
think-
almost a game-changing player.
I don't know if that unchanges the game. I don't think it makes the game like unchanged if the starting quarterback gets to play over a dude whose name I can't even remember gets to play.
I think the Bucs win. I think the Bucs
that
win
changes the
regardless.
game. I don't know if there's any of the wording I can use for that. Macaroni and cheese is the game. I don't know. Whatever you want to use there is the word you can go for.
The next couple
It's
games.
obvious your trash talk fandom is starting to spill over in this fucking show.
Well, he thinks that he can out trash talk me, and that's just not going to happen.
Just gonna mac and cheese this game all day.
Yeah, he can like tuna salad that all up. I don't even know. Whatever you want to use. Red beans and rice it.
I just,
Red-
Yeah, I
I just
could
want to take the
use
moment
some
to
red
say,
beans
fuck
and
your
rice.
wife, fuck your kids.
Chicken
'Cause we
quesadilla.
could do that on this show. We can't do that in your little
No, we
Homer
can't.
chat
Wait,
bullshit.
what?
You can't. You can't.
In the
use
Southern
family.
football trash talk, you can't bring family into it.
Heard that. I thought we agreed on that on this one too. Like,
No,
Dad smack is okay.
oh, dad snacks.
I don't do
okay.
any dad smack. I just want to ask him about Ohio State.
Heard that. The next couple games are pretty easy. Bengals and Green Bay. That game's at Lambeau. I'm taking Packers
Everything
obviously
we've
on
said
that one.
today, if Green Bay
Yeah.
doesn't win that game, I'm gonna have like Venus. It's gonna be a situation brewing.
Yeah,
You'd be like
there
me,
might be a
like,
situation y'all lose that one.
Unemotionally invested in your team.
So are we all agreeing on that one? The Packers. Yeah, I figured as much.
Let's roll this. Come on.
All right, cool. Kansas City versus the Chargers. That game's in LA where no one's gonna be there. I'm taking
That's
the
a
Chiefs.
given. That's a given. That's a given. Let's roll.
Our producers like basically give us the team, but we need to go ahead and.
I'm gonna say the
finish up.
Redskins just for fuck's sake.
He's taking the Redskins over the
Over Kansas
Raiders.
City?
He's taking the Redskins over the Raiders
Yeah,
in
I'll-
Washington.
I'll take San Diego over the Chiefs.
He's taking really.
Yeah, fuck
That's
it.
a
Who cares?
fucking stupid pick. Okay.
I don't know. That's one of the few wins that San Diego got last year.
I don't see it happening this year.
I'll take Redskins too.
I'm taking the Raiders over the Redskins, and then the Monday night game. It's the Cardinals and the Cowboys.
Oh, that's a fucking
I
shitball.
yeah, I think the Cowboys are not as good as they were last year, but they win this week. I don't know about you guys, but I think they win this one.
Yeah, sure. That's fine.
Sure. Are you ready for us to leave, Kenny?
Yeah, he's
No,
like,
no,
finish the
it's-
show so you can get out of my house. I mean,
No,
the
no,
bar
no,
that we're
no,
at.
It's fine. It's fine, man. Go on for another 2 hours. Whatever.
No, I'm good. All right, guys.
Let's dissect every game.
All right, guys. Thank you all very much for tuning in to episode 46. We'll see y'all same time, same place next week on the Underground Pub Show here on the PMK Multiverse Network. My name is Schreiber with Bobo and CJ. Peace.
Who don't?
Bye. I have to go wash coffee.
Thank you for fucking King Cobra, CJ.
You're welcome. Hey, Bubba, here's that shit.
Tune in every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Central Time for the Underground Pub Show, right here on the Pimpy K Multiverse Network.
You are one pathetic loser.